well. And okay, we are on air. Hello to you who are watching us live or watching us later. We're starting our group coaching session this week. And yes, oh, oopsie. I always do that. I have it on my phone so I can see if people are sending questions, but then I forgot to lower the volume. Uh,
It's
okay,
kind of nice to
so
do. Yeah.
I like looking at myself. Yes, I'm just like, ooh, look at her, look at small Anna. Anyway,
Just joking. Okay, let's go.
so so Reinaldo, Luis was telling me a little bit about his week, and well, we talked about English practice, but when I ask you how was your week, I'm asking generally. I'm interested. So how did your week go?
Well, my week was fine. I studied a lot, and
Congratulations.
yeah, I studied a lot, but I am a little late with my tasks. But I will try to finish it today night,
Mhm.
and it's cool. It's cool, a little different.
Yeah, I bet. That's good. We're going to be talking about all of these things, keeping on track and, enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, all of these. But yeah, I just wanted to know where you guys are at, if you accomplish your goals or not. It's good. We set goals to accomplish them, of course, but in a certain way, it's actually good if you put your goal like high, and if you fall a little short, it means that at least you did something. Because if you make your goal too small and then, you reach it, sometimes you could have done more if your goal was higher. So this program is a lot about setting high goals. And of course, I want you to accomplish them. And, they're attainable, they're doable. But at the same time, if you fall short, if you don't go all the way to your goal, it's still okay. You're still, what I want you to see is, if there is one day, and that's the question I just asked Luis. Um, Luis was telling me that he was tired, that this week was really busy. He had a trip, he had meetings, so it was really hectic, really difficult. So, my question to you guys is, when your week is busy, when you have a busy day, and you realize, like, oh, I cannot study English today, I'm too tired, I don't have time, my day is crazy. What are the practices? What are the things that you're going to do instead? So, I want you to practice English regardless. But on those days, what are you going to do? So have a fallback plan. It's not something you're going to do often, I hope.
1 minute.
Okay, the dog is barking.
Oops.
You put the dog out.
Yeah, my dog barks a lot.
He's not getting enough attention. Gotcha. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I hope you don't do that often, but it's kind of a plan B, like something to, today's very busy. What is my to go practice that, I can still do on the go, or that's not going to take me a lot of time? So, Luis, you were telling me the kind of practice you're doing. Can you repeat so Reinaldo can hear it as well? What did you do this week? Was like extra.
Extra. Yeah, it's good to hear as extra. I hadn't enough time to do the listening at the days the task day, but I had some time to watch Friends, for example, at Netflix at Paris.
On Netflix.
Okay, on Netflix. I also use an app like called Calm, and they have some stories, masterclass about things like the importance of rest or uh, meditation. There are a lot of kind of this stuff, and the masterclass is something about have something about 40 or 50 minutes and all in English. So it's
Oh,
good.
good, great. So it
Uh,
lasted 15 minutes around that.
yeah. And some apps like BBC Learning English, and one called TOEFL Vocabulary.
Hmm.
Uh, and the last one called Blinklist is short books to resume, summarize. They
Summarize.
summarize books
Very good.
in 12 minutes and just the highlights, all in English, and there is a free version.
Nice. How did you like
Yeah,
the two apps? How did you like Calm and how did you like Blink it?
Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Can Blinkist. Yeah, thank you, guy. Do you want some popcorn? Yeah,
Yes, please.
yeah. Do you want some? Let me see. Blinkist. I will send it the group, the WhatsApp group,
You
all
should.
the apps, and that there's another one called Tiny Cards.
Oh yeah, the one that we talked about, the space repetition.
Yeah, very good, with a lot of cards already
Uh-huh.
done. There is
Pre-made.
there is one that you have the word in English, the meaning when you drop, you see the meaning, the sound,
Hmm.
and the picture to remember. I like it very much, and I'm doing it a lot.
Nice,
This
nice.
kind of things I can do during the how can I say, when I'm going to work in the traffic.
Hmm.
So it's possible, but I didn't have enough time to do the tasks, all the tasks. I
Uh-huh.
did some.
Okay.
I, I,
But
I'm not.
that
I was not so good student like Reinaldo this week. I'll do my best next one. The man was sleeping on the table, yes, and then the Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know.
Wednesday.
Yes.
He
Yes,
was
last
such a
week.
good student, right, Reinaldo?
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
put you on
I'm
the screen.
trying. Yeah, last week I was studying a little. When I was read the transcript, I slept a little.
That's awesome.
Oh wow. I feel like I'm entertaining you guys so well. Well, actually, not at all.
On Wednesday, I was tired because was a busy day. But my
Gotcha.
my strategy to study is on morning. Always on morning, I listen the audio.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I listen the audio every day on morning in my commute to work,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, in my work I doesn't have time to study.
Mm-hmm.
I return to study only at night.
Okay. But that's good. That's really good. You already set your routine. You're already creating those habits, that you're going to listen to the audio in the morning, in your commute, then you study at night. That's great. If you create that consistency, that will help you keep you on track. And of course, Luis, there are some weeks that we're just too tired, overworked, stressed out. That's okay. And I loved what you did. You know, I was like, oh, I couldn't follow the strategies. And that's okay, guys. I'm not here to like I'm not police, you know, I'm not teacher police. Like you have
That's
to do
okay,
all of your
Renato.
tests.
Renato, that's okay, but we are going to the jail, okay?
Yes, you are. I'm taking you to
Uh,
student jail. But
Yeah.
that's exactly the point I want to talk about today is having a plan B when you cannot finish the strategies, if you cannot sit down and actually study. But let me tell you, using the Calm app, using the that Blinkist, please share them in the WhatsApp group. Like the WhatsApp group is also there for you guys to share resources with all of us, because we try to give you a lot of resources. But if you come up with cool stuff, if you come across some cool stuff, please send them our way.
okay, I'll do
But
that.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. But that's it. You use those other apps, you found new ways, you use tiny cards to practice. All of those practices are still practice. They're still helping you reach your goal. Don't sell yourself short. That's an expression we have in English. Sell as in, sale. Don't sell yourself short. It's don't say like, oh yeah, this week was terrible. I didn't do anything, but I did this. Don't sell yourself short, or you're just being like humble. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Just
I
so
just
we.
think that I need to do the task, the speak easy task, and
That's the
then
ideal.
go to this extra exercise.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha. You want to be the
uh,
overachiever. You want to be.
yeah,
I like
something.
overachievers. I am an overachiever, so I like that way of thinking. But yeah, the ideal scenario, ideal life is you do the activities we propose to you so you can try it out. As you guys saw on Friday, we let you guys choose, and that's going to be a lot throughout the program. We're going to give you some strategies and then let you choose. Like, okay, what did you like? What worked for you? What you enjoyed more? And so, you know, you're learning those things to help yourself, not to bore yourself, not to make yourself fall asleep, please. Don't fall asleep. Well, actually, do fall asleep. If you're falling asleep, please stop studying.
It's better.
Much better.
Much
Like
better.
you said, Luis, the Calm app was telling you to rest, then you rested. Please do that. It will be more effective.
But we have to think that today is the last day of the first semester of the year. So tomorrow is the beginning of the end.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. We
That's
don't have
true.
enough time. We don't have enough time to do all the things we want to do in this year. So let's run, let's run.
Yeah. Let me tell you, today I have a couple stories to tell you guys. I'm gonna have some nice stories. First of all, nobody asked me how my week was, so I'm gonna tell you anyway.
You did it. You did
Anyway.
it at the video.
Oh yeah, I told you guys a little bit about my
Yeah.
week. That's true. Good catch. Good catch.
We know,
You know how it
and we
went.
have effectively stalking on you. Do you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's somebody here. Let me
Yeah.
look outside.
Yeah. We don't. We know. We
Well, but
know.
actually, I didn't tell you. I told you in the video I was going camping, but I actually went camping. Look at my little adventure. I went camping by myself, so I didn't have anybody else. Look at this crazy lady. But, you know, it's the United States. It's a little bit safer than Brazil. So I was there by myself. I put up my tent. I put up my tent.
Alone? Just alone?
Yes, alone by myself. Look at me. Ooh. Anyway, so I put my yoga mat down. I had my food. I cooked before I went, but I cooked. Anyway, so, but the thing is, in most like Georgia, California, okay, a lot of the wildlife in the US, they tell you that you have the chance to encounter bears. Understand
Yeah.
bears?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. I have never seen a bear, and I've been camping, I've gone camping, I've gone hiking. I've never seen a bear up close. And then this weekend was the first time.
Oh my God.
I was there on my campsite with my yoga mat, you know, doing some yoga. And I hear a noise and I see three little bears, black bears. They're like the most dangerous ones. And then I look at them, my heart stops for skips a beat, and I'm like, oh fuck. Sorry for my language. I'm looking at the tiny bears, and I'm like, if there are tiny bears, there is a mama bear.
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck. But there was another camping site that I think they were cooking, and that's what attracted the bears. So it still smelled like food. So the bears went there, they saw that there was no food, they saw us moving around, so they left. And those little bears, they can climb trees. Have you seen a bear climb a tree? I saw it live in real life. They climb trees like monkeys. Anyway, so end of the story. The moral of the story is don't take food with you to your camping. Keep your food away. Don't freak out. You know, I remained calm. I was praying to all the gods out there. And the bears went away. And the third one, maybe it's like don't camp by yourself, but I can say that it's fun to camp by yourself. So
Yeah, very fun.
that's it. I survived. Yay! Otherwise, you guys wouldn't hear from me for days and be like, "Where's Anna?" So
Okay.
that's the story of how I survived. Very nice. So that was my eventful
Reinaldo,
weekend.
I don't know you, but my adventure was to watch TV in my. I can't believe it.
Telecine.
Yeah, something like that.
You see the bears on the TV, right? Not in real life.
Yeah, it's more safe.
Yeah. Oh, when you scared, you just turn off the TV and go to bed.
Yeah.
It's an option.
Probably safer. Definitely safer.
Okay. What else? What else in your week?
Well, that was about my week. That was the most exciting part. So,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
Oh, Louise, I did not eat all the donuts, okay? Just so you know.
Oh my gosh. I just want to remember to bring us a lot of when you came to Brazil.
Yes.
I'm counting the days.
Yes.
For you, it's not for you, okay?
I got you. Not for me. I'm not going to eat any. No. So, hey, now, Luis, anyway, we have a story with donuts, and he asked me to take some donuts to you guys when I go to Brazil. So, have you tried donuts? Do you like donuts?
I like donuts.
Yeah.
I would like to eat some donuts too.
There you go, Luis.
It's a good idea.
Good
It's a good
idea.
idea. Damn, now I have to take some donuts. Okay.
Something like 36, maybe 40 donuts. It's okay.
Oh,
Me
okay.
too. Me too. It's a
You said 4 to 6?
For no 40. Just 40.
46?
Just 40.
46?
For
40?
6. 40?
You said
Yeah, just
40?
40.
40 donuts? That's a
Yeah.
lot of donuts.
No, it's not. Just bring it for us, okay?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
I will call the beer for you.
Oh, I bet.
Do
The little
it.
they were so
Or-
cute. They were like tiny, but those things are
Yeah,
lethal.
very.
Lethal.
And hungry too.
Probably very hungry and, curious. Like, oh, there's a little girl. Anyway.
You're crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I survived, so that's the good part, at least for myself. Okay, very nice. So now I have a second story to tell you guys. Well, actually, it was something I read. It's not so much of a story. It's just somebody um, wrote something that I think it's very very connected to your last comment, Luis, about tomorrow being the first day of the second semester. So I just read this person. They were talking about Tim Ferriss. Do you know Tim Ferriss? He's a
Yeah.
famous author.
4 hours per week.
Yeah, the 4-hour work week.
Yeah.
Have you read that book?
Yeah. And I have the audiobook, and I also have the audiobook in English.
Nice, very good.
Yeah.
Have you read that, Reinaldo, or have you heard about it?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss is an author. He writes about productivity, about work. I haven't read his book, but I want to. A lot of people have told me it's really good.
The strategy is about. Sorry.
Go ahead.
This strategy is about to work just 4 hours per week with automatization and to adopting kind of actions to make on the main things you have to do, and to have work that you can do, that you cannot work at any place in the world. That's the strategy.
Cool.
And do this for only four hours per week.
Sounds like the dream, right?
Yeah.
But I think the world is yeah, I really want to read it. The world is really going towards like automatic I can speak automatization of processes and making things easier for people. So you don't have to do the boring stuff. You only do the exciting, the intellectual work. So
Yeah.
that's great. Anyway, so this person was writing about Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss has a podcast. So
Yeah.
I'll send the link on the group. That's a good way for you to practice your English. Listen to the Tim Ferriss podcast.
Yeah.
And he had a guest at his podcast, and he asked his guest something like, what would you tell your 30-year self? Like, what advice would you give to your 30-year self? And the guest said that when he was 30, in his early 30s, he thought that everything in the world was a possibility. Like the world was full of possibilities. Like there's so many things you can do, and you want to do all of those things, you know, in your life. But then you just sit there in that room looking at all of your options, and you don't take action in any of them. So what that guy was saying, that I have to actually know who said that. It was the guest of Tim Ferriss podcast. He was saying that he wishes that he had put everything in perspective, that if he was going to live until 80, let's say, it's the expectancy today, at 30, he still had 50 years of life. And in 50 years, he can still do a lot of things, but he has to do one thing at a time. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was just saying that he wishes that he was sitting on his room with all the possibilities, and he would just focus on one thing at a time for a few years at a time.
There is another book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, in Portuguese, is Única Coisa. The only thing, maybe.
Yeah.
The main subject is that you have to focus on one thing each time.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to create a plan that you will follow one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one thing for each of your, what can I say, papers. Husband, worker, student.
Your roles.
Roles, yes, like this. It's a good book. I'll send it for you at the group.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And that's what I want you guys to realize, that, yeah, you cannot focus on everything. That's good advice to all of us, because I'm also like, you know, love doing a lot of things at the same time. But for you to do something well, you have to focus one thing at a time. So I hope that for the second half of the year, one of your focuses is in perfecting your English, and knowing that it takes time, it takes effort, and it's not something that you will see results, you know, from one day to the next. And also, you're not going not to see results if you don't do things exactly how I prescribe them to you. So try to do things how I prescribe them to you, because I'm giving you the best strategies, the best ways of getting there. But at the same time, don't beat yourself up. You understand this expression?
Yeah.
Beat yourself up. So don't beat yourself up with thinking like, oh my God, I didn't do it. I should have done it. I'm terrible. And I will think these and that. You know, because that's counterproductive. If you think about it, like, you know, every day is a new opportunity for you to reach. So if one day you were tired, you couldn't reach your goal, you couldn't do the Journey app, whatever you didn't do, you have the next day as a complete new opportunity to restart. So on the next day, just think, instead of saying, oh, I have to do what I didn't do yesterday, don't think about yesterday. Think about, how can I do better for today, for my goals today? What can I do today? Because it's going to take you a lot farther. And I see, well, the learning process and learning English, learning a language, out of all kinds of types of learning, I have 1 million analogies in my mind, but the analogy I'm using with you guys today is like, think about that ant. You know what an ant is? The insect?
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese for me. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So you see an ant in the ground sometimes, you see like that little trail of ants, and you see them carrying leaves, you see them carrying rocks, because they're taking it back to their, how do you call that? The ant mill house? Okay, I'm going to have to get back on that. where they're building their stuff. And each one of them is taking a little piece, and they're just taking and dropping it off and going back out and taking another little piece of leaf or whatever they went to get. And that little ant, they don't know exactly what they're building. They don't know the bigger picture. They can't see like, oh, I'm getting this leaf because later on this leaf will be here and there and blah, blah, blah. And it's going to help the whole, ant little house society. Oh my God, I have no vocabulary for nature stuff. But in the end, those ants, they are trusting the process. They're just doing what they can every day, that little bit every day, trusting the process. And at the end of everything, they have that whole new ant house, that they're building for all of them to enjoy. So, you can take thousands of analogies from the ant work, but the analogy that I want you to make today is about the process, about taking that little bit every day. And even if you don't see the big picture, even if you don't see like, I don't know how this is helping me, whatever, just trust the process.
Yeah.
And on top of that, be patient with yourself, because this whole process, since you guys started this program, it's a lot of changes. You have to study English every day. You have to do a lot of activities. It's a lot of change all at the same time. So give yourself some time to get into the process, to adapt to the program, because that's the first phase, is this adaptation process. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. My last question for you guys is, what is the biggest challenge you have right now to keep up with your goals? All of them, the words, the sentences, Journey app. What's your biggest challenge? Hey, now let's start with you, if you're ready, of course.
Well, my dog barks again.
That's okay.
Well, I think Journal app. When I was recording the video, sometimes I delete and start again, and I record three videos only, and today I will send to you in Google, I forgot the word, in Google
Drive. Mm-hmm.
But Journal app is a little difficult to me, because when after I record the video, I watch it and I think, no, it's not so good. I delete.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you know what I'm gonna say, but what I'm gonna say is, don't delete it. Just leave it, really, even if you think it's terrible. Because believe me, it's just you are seeing it, I'm seeing it. I'm not judging you for anything. Don't worry about it. I suck at French, I know what you're going through. I'm going through it myself. So don't worry about that. Just leave the video there, because it will be a good way to even track your process later on. You'll see how much you've come, how far you've come. So what do you think? You think you can record the video just once? I don't want you to practice for it. I don't want you to do more than one take. I just want you to say it as if you were talking to someone for the first time. So, yeah. Do you think you can do that?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Try it this week, the least amount of effort. You're just going to turn on your camera, speak to it for a few minutes, and then that's it. You don't even have to rewatch it. Don't rewatch it if you don't want to. Forget about it. And then at the end of the week, then you can rewatch all of them. Do not delete them and send them to me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
Great.
I will try to do it.
Okay, let's try to do that, and then you tell me next week if it worked. And how about you, Luis? What is your biggest challenge this week about studying and keeping your goals?
I also have a problem with the journal app. I'm not a good actor. And I have in the first video, the presentation video, I recorded for some almost 20 or 30 times and delete and made again and delete again. And okay, it will never be so good as we want. So
Yeah.
I will try to record and send.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Just record and send, and for sure the journey app is the first. That is my priority in this week.
Okay, perfect. That's nice. That's what I was going to ask you. Guys, I know the video part, like the challenge, the journey app, I know it's hard because you're able to look at yourself making mistakes. And that's something your brain is like, no, just stop. So my challenge for you, both of you, is recorded videos, do not rewatch them. You can rewatch them after you send them to me. After you send them to me, then you can rewatch them.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me.
Great. Because even think about that. I don't know if I've told you guys that before. I love saying that, but the quicker you make mistakes, the quicker you learn. And if you're trying to prevent yourself from making these mistakes, you're not going to learn from them. So I even prefer that you have a video version that's not perfect, because if it's perfect, you're not learning anything. You're just crafting for it to look like you know what you're doing, when maybe in a natural conversation you wouldn't. So when you look at those videos later and you can catch your mistakes, think about it, guys. For you to be able to catch your mistake, it means that you already understand how to do it right. Because if you didn't understand how to do it right, you wouldn't know that you were making a mistake. So that's a new way, a new perspective to take on making mistakes. They're not that bad. They actually are better for you to learn. And then if you do the video like 20 times, 30 times until it's perfect, sure, you're learning too. Don't get me wrong, you're learning. But it's not as good as like looking at the video and being like, ugh, I made that mistake. You're kind of embarrassed, but embarrassed in a good way, because you realize your mistake, and then you have less chances of making it again later on.
Makes sense.
So congratulations for catching your mistakes, because a beginner will not really realize the mistakes they're making. So good job.
That sounds like a plan for the next week.
Sounds like a plan to me too. I want to see the Journey app game strong. That's an expression they love here in America, in the US. Say that something's game is strong. So they have a lot of analogies with baseball, football, sports in general. So, let's do the video game really on point, really strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome, guys.
Hi, Luis.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. And let me know. I think I'm speaking to Luis on Monday, and Reinaldo, I'm speaking to you on Wednesday, right?
Right.
Hey, now,
Okay.
you was to saying something?
You have a challenge, 7 videos for next week.
Ooh, I like this challenge.
7 videos for the next week. Okay.
7 videos in 7 days.
Challenge accepted.
Oh my
You
God.
accepted it, Luis? Are you accepting it too, Reinaldo? Both challenges accepted? Yeah, Reinaldo's
Yeah.
posing the challenge, so I guess you have to accept it, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. And I'm going to take the challenge too, but I'm going to take the challenge in French because that's what I'm learning right now.
Well, you're learning
French?
French?
Yes.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm using my own strategies on myself, and I'm learning. I'm becoming, conversational to fluent in by the end of August. So stay tuned.
Next month?
Next month, yes, I have 2 months exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, awesome.
Great,
So we
great.
are all challenged this week, and I want to see next Sunday night how these challenges turn out.
You can send your videos for us.
Good. Good
7
idea, Reinaldo. Good idea.
Videos.
Good idea. Yes.
Ronaldo, where are these ideas coming from? I like the first one. Now the second one, no, maybe not so much.
There was a task in one email that has a bet. We can bet with. You can make a contract and then bet with some people.
Yes.
Let's the stick.
Oh, is the stick? Yeah,
The
let's put our
stick.
challenge on stick.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Pedro will keep us honest.
Okay.
Great, guys. Awesome. Great talking to you. I want to see this challenge next week. And let me know. This week we start space learning. Woohoo! Space repetition learning. I'm sorry.
Space repetition.
Yeah.
I know you both are super anxious about it. Want to learn?
I really am, because when you grow with your vocabulary, all the things is going to be it's not going to be okay, but it's going to be in an easy way, more natural.
Yeah,
I
definitely
guess.
it becomes easier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, becomes
Yeah,
easier. Yeah.
I agree. Growing vocabulary is really important. And this week will be all about learning how to do the space repetition. So you can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome, guys.
Okay.
Have a good night. I hope that your Sunday ends well and you start this week really strong. Maybe even do a video tonight just to, start the week really with your video game with your video, starting on the right foot. There we go.
Okay, I'll try.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you again soon during the week.
Have a good night. Have a good second semester.
Oh, yeah. Happy second semester, guys.
And a nice week. A nice week. See you
Thank
guys as soon as possible.
Thank
See
you.
you. Thank you, Ana and Luis. Have a good night.
Have a good
You're
night.
welcome. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.